Emotional intelligence, what is it? And how does it affect you, your world, your business, your family, your company, your ability to teach, your ability to lead, your ability to make a difference in the world, your ability to chase down the things that you're chasing down, that you're passionate about? And then most importantly, what can you do to improve, to grow, to enhance, to strengthen your emotional intelligence as a person and the emotional intelligence of your family, of your business, of your teams? Let's talk about this. First, let's define emotional intelligence. It's very simply the awareness and management of emotions in yourself and in others. Awareness on the top, management on the bottom of emotions in self and in others. Sounds very simple, but look at this model, and I want you to think through this model. We'll revisit it throughout this video and this video series, but I want you to think about any one scenario in your life. You're home washing the dishes, let's say, and a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things on your mind. You got a big project you got to finish by tomorrow. The kids are asking for this and that. Your spouse is asking for this. A friend just calls. A family member is texting you. How aware in that scenario are you of your own emotions? How aware are you of the emotions of those people around you in that scenario? And how well do you impact, manage, affect the emotions that you have and that those people around you have in that moment? And you could think through any scenario in your life using this model. But let's talk about the overall impact of emotional intelligence. See, this picture is a very simple picture of an iceberg. About 90% of most icebergs are underwater. Imagine for a moment that this iceberg is sitting in a river. The Hudson River is right near me. So let's say it's in the Hudson River. And the Hudson River typically flows south. For the sake of argument, let's say south. Hudson River flows south a few miles an hour. Let's say 5 miles an hour, flowing that way. Which way is the bottom of the iceberg going? 5 miles an hour that way, yes? What about the top? Same thing, yeah, simple. I put you on top of that iceberg. You're the size of the letter I, and I hand you a paddle and I say, can you help me out? I'd like the iceberg to go this way instead of that way. Good luck. How are you going to do with that? See, emotions affect every single part of our lives, and they take us in a direction very often, very frequently, without us even realizing we're heading in that direction. And we'll talk about that in another video when we deal with the emotional brain and how this thing, this amazing thing that you have up here, is wired to help, but we don't always use it to help in where we're going in life. Erasmus of Rotterdam, 500 years ago, a scholar, said that the emotional brain, the bottom of the iceberg, is 24 times more powerful than the rational brain. 24 times more powerful than the rational brain. Let me share a story with you. A couple of years ago, I'm working with a huge manufacturing company, Fortune 500, Fortune 20 actually, and about 20% of the management team for this organization is in the room for a quarterly meeting. About 30 people. The director sitting in the front of the room. The person in charge of quality for this division is presenting about quality. She goes through her quality stuff about 15, 20 minutes into her presentation, and the director all of a sudden starts to get a little visibly upset about where it's going. He moves his hands, says, "Ho, and his tone becomes quite accusational, maybe a little anger, challenge towards the person presenting quality comes out. Suddenly, 29 sets of eyes in that room turn towards the director. And he gets more and more upset, challenging the quality person. The quality person tries to answer the questions several different ways and then starts to back down. 29 sets of eyes are looking at this director. And the best way to describe where the director went is, on occasion, my 6-year-old daughter, Ella, will come running into the room and let myself or my wife know that her baby sister is melting down. But my daughter, Ella, will come running in and say, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, Maya is freaking out. Maya's freaking out, Daddy." And that's the best way to describe where this went. The director freaked out at the quality person. So let's think through the scenario. Let's pretend you're in that room with me, and there's really three different types of people. There's three different groups. There's the director who freaked out. There's the quality person who was freaked out upon. And I'm guessing you've been one of both of those people in your life. Then there's the third group of people, the 28 others that witnessed this. Bottom of the iceberg. Which ways are the emotions pulling people in that room? What emotions are present? And how long does the impact from that emotional scenario last? The whole scenario only took a few minutes. We took a break after that. 10-minute break. Let's imagine that you're one of the plant managers, and after break you get to present. What's going on in your world as you leave for break? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? Let's look at this for a second. Different emotional states that may have been involved. The director, angry, frustrated, disgusted, disappointed, nervous, stressed, afraid, overwhelmed. And there are more. Naturally, there are more. What about the quality person? Embarrassed, berated, infuriated, whole bunch of things. Apathetic, disenfranchised. At the bottom, though, look at that one. It says motivated. Could the quality person have left that scenario motivated? Is it possible that that person said, you know what? The director's right. I didn't come to this meeting prepared. We haven't been making the progress in quality that we need to be making. I deserve that. Maybe it could have been handled differently, but I needed to be called out. Is that possible? Sure it is. Sure it is. Sure it is. What about the others? Empathetic? Now, when I present workshops on emotional intelligence, very often I'll get a group of people that say empathetic towards the quality person. Once in a while, one person in the audience will say empathetic towards the director, the one that freaked out. Why? Because they understand that that company the year before had profited several $1 billion. It's November, and the company was about to lose over $1 billion for the year. Stress, pressure. Some people in the room may have been saying, you know what? I totally feel for that person. I know what he's going through. It's tough. A whole bunch of things. Resentful, anxious, disengaged, sad. I've been investing my life in this company and this is how we're treated. Doubtful, relieved, inspired though. They could have been inspired. Said, you know what? We're not where we need to be as a company. It's time to turn this boat around. We got to get to work. We got to pull together as a team. We got to pull together as a team because we've all been letting each other down lately. All those emotions could have been present. Isn't that fair to say? Now, the crazy part about it is, let's look at this on an engagement scale. Let's simplify this whole concept and say you could be 100% engaged, you could be 0% engaged, or 100% disengaged could be the bottom. Let's say the quality person came to that meeting right here, 75, 80% engaged in work. And it could be family, could be coaching a sport, could be teaching, could be any of those things, could be as a student. 75, 80% engaged. That incident happens. Could her engagement drop dramatically? Could it? See, it's happened to you before. I'm sure it has. Does it drop dramatically? It could. If it does, how long does that drop last? Does it last a few minutes? An hour, 2 hours, a day, a few days, a few weeks, a few months? See, any of those could be the scenario. It's the bottom of the iceberg, dramatically moving 5 miles an hour down river. Downriver. Could there be a recovery? Person starts making progress and work, says, you know what, it was a mistake, whatever. Then an incident happens again, or the person starts thinking back through that incident, or the quality person comes to visit your facility. And in thinking about that meeting, both of you may start reflecting on the previous meeting and the freaking out incident, which could drop engagement again, without even the incident repeating. Could that happen? Absolutely could. But that's only one picture, isn't it? Could this happen? Engagement takes a slight dip, but then comes right back up. It could. It could. All part of emotional intelligence. Could this happen? Could somebody in that meeting be very disengaged and after that meeting come back and be highly engaged? So you know what? It's time to get this thing going. All these things could happen. Let's go back to this picture for a second. And I want you to think through a few scenarios in your world. Awareness and management of emotions in self and others. A lot of people will tell me, Jonathan, you know what? That director was not very emotionally intelligent. Hold on. Hold on. We're skipping awareness of emotions in others. What if that director knew that that team had been slacking and needed a little wake-up call? Did he do it the best way possible? Probably not. Probably not. But we're not there. I was there, but We're not there right now, and I didn't give you the whole story. Could what he did have increased their engagement? Or could it have dramatically decreased their engagement? I want you to think through some of your experiences. Use this picture and think about that iceberg. And then in the next videos, we'll get into the emotional brain, how this thing really works, and then how you can intentionally improve in each of these areas. Jonathan Fanning, I hope that this serves you. I hope this adds value to your life.